Has anyone else noticed that celebrities aren't very nice?
And all I've got to offer is sensitivity, intelligence, and charm.
In the last 5 years or so, I feel like we've seen kind of an uptick in celebrities who have built their brands around kindness, love, all those gushy things, being exposed for being monsters. Not that this is a new thing. The facade of celebrity has been slipping since celebrities were invented. But I feel like more recently, with the rise of social media, it's become a little bit more difficult to keep these nasty personalities under wraps. And today I'd like to talk about some recent examples of these masks slipping, why these masks are slipping, why the facade is necessary in the first place, all in kind of a laid back, very loosely scripted format. And to kick us off, I have a question for you. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? RuPaul is a figure who has built this rags to riches narrative around himself. And he is actually one of the few celebrities who has actually earned that rags to riches story. A quick look at his biography makes it clear that his rise to fame is impressive. Through his show RuPaul's Drag Race, he's also kind of positioned himself as a motherly figure to young budding drag queens, many referring to him as Mama Ru. Every single episode of RuPaul's Drag Race ends with that snazzy little slogan I said at the top of this section.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen.
But what is the reality after the cameras stop rolling? Are we still dealing with Mama Ru? Well, according to season 7 contestant Pearl, who has her own baggage, Ru once told her directly that nothing she says matters unless the cameras are rolling. Season 11 contestant Brooklyn Heights backed up this claim, stating that we'd probably see him once or twice a day. He's very professional, and I think it's important that people realize that there has to be a kind of separation from the judge and the contestants. He's not chumming it up with us all the time. When the cameras aren't rolling, he doesn't speak to us really. Because we're making a TV show, it needs to be kept for TV. That last bit there, it needs to be kept for TV, is I think the crux of the issue of building your brand around these personal relationships and communities. Because you're either lying or breaking down boundaries that are important for a professional relationship. In order for celebrity status to work, there has to be this parasocial aspect, where your viewer is under the impression that if you were to meet, you could chum it up with them. Even though that's probably not the case, you don't know these people. People tend to get upset when the parasocial perception they have of you begins to crumble. Unfortunately, RuPaul's quote-unquote maternal nature is not the only piece of their facade that has started to fade away. In season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2018, one of the main challenges presented was a quote climate ball, seemingly advocating for environmental causes. Yes, go off. We love a green queen. Unfortunately, the green queen's crown has slipped off a little bit. Things started falling apart for Ru, in the fracking sense, in 2020, in an NPR interview where he discussed the finances of his husband George's ranch. This is what he had to say. A modern ranch, 21st century ranch, is really land management. It is, you lease the mineral rights to oil companies, and you sell water to oil companies. After this statement was made, it was uncovered by Gizmodo that on just 10,000 acres of the 66,000 acres of land, there were 35 active oil wells. Ooh, girl. This kind of blew up in Rue's face. It became a meme. It's been a running gag since, the joke being the hypocrisy. Very recently, on March 1st of this year, RuPaul commented on the fracking controversy, basically saying in drag terms, LOL, that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And it's like, okay, you're still a hypocrite and you're still fracking? RuPaul is kind of unique in the list of celebrities I plan on talking about in this video, in that he is a judge on a game show. Would you call Drag Race a game show? A TV competition? So that separation between him and the contestants makes a bit more sense, even if that separation is not made clear by the editing. I don't have an excuse for the fracking, though. So Rue can kind of hide behind the truth that he is judging a competition. You know who isn't judging a competition, though? You have to create little pockets of joy in your life to take care of yourself. Oh, Jonathan Van Ness. JVN and Queer Eye as a whole is an IP built on positivity. Positivity through capitalism. Don't get me wrong, I've shed my fair share of tears over early episodes of new Queer Eye, but at the end of the day, it is sort of like, here's a product that can fix your life. For a long time, I think if you asked the average person who the lead member of the Queer Eye team was, they would probably say Jonathan. They're just the most eccentric and loud, kind of presenting this bubbly, almost ditzy sort of personality. You know what I'm about to talk about. Recently, production sources on Queer Eye have come forward, telling Rolling Stone that JVN's public persona is largely a charade, that they've been known to, quote, explode at the crew at least once a week. One of these sources told ET, some of the cast and crew of Queer Eye has felt like Jonathan Van Ness has a sense of entitlement for quite some time. It has caused tension and awkwardness among them. They feel as though Jonathan can be quick to react in a negative way if something doesn't go Jonathan's way or as planned. Some of those who have worked with Jonathan have felt intimidated by Jonathan and like Jonathan is difficult to work with. I think I misquoted the end that, wait. Some of those who have worked with Jonathan have felt intimidated by Jonathan and like Jonathan. Okay, no, that makes sense. They feel that it's difficult to work with Jonathan, and they are intimidated. That was just worded weird. My quote was accurate. Supposedly, Netflix has had a couple one-on-one meetings with JVN to try to work out this behavior, but somehow that ended with Bobby Burke leaving or getting fired, or there's so much drama going on with them. Jonathan Van Ness's job on Queer Eye is literally to make people feel good. That's like the premise of the show. And once that illusion of warmness is broken, the whole crux of the show breaks along with it, as we've seen unfolding in real time. Now, obviously, I don't expect people to be the same as their media persona. I'm not the same as I am here. But when it comes to basic human decency, I think that's a much bigger issue. I also just looked at my list of secretly mean celebrities to look at and realized 3 out of 4 of them are queer. I swear I did not do that on purpose. I'm not homophobic. Oh gosh, should I find another straight to talk about? Should I talk about Taylor Swift's private jet? No, I'm not ready to die quite yet. Who's another straight I could talk about? I didn't mean for this to happen. Oh, should I throw out the whole video? No. This has nothing to do with, okay, it's fine. On that note, let's talk about Ellen. Did you know that the slogan of Ellen, the talk show, was "Be kind to one another"? Because I didn't. It's ironic. This was my Facebook cover photo in 2015. So not to say I was ahead of the curve, but John Hamm, he's one of the straights that acts all nice, but secretly there was some hazing thing he did. There we go. There's another straight. Okay, back to Ellen. Sorry, I just thought. Allegations against Ellen began with a Twitter thread. Allegations against Ellen started with a Twitter thread by Kevin T. Porter. In this Twitter thread, Kevin alleged that the crew of The Ellen Show was largely abandoned during shutdown, among other COVID safety concerns, and this led to further allegations of racism, toxic work environments, etc. Not very kind things. Some employees spoke to BuzzFeed and reported being fired for taking medical or bereavement leave, and an intense lack of communication during the COVID-19 pandemic. One woman also claimed that she was the victim of racial discrimination during her time at The Ellen Show. In response to this, Warner Media sent an internal HR team in conjunction. I just said in conjunction. Like, that's not in my notes. The word in conjunction. I'm so smart. Anyways, they sent an internal HR team in conjunction with a third-party group to investigate these claims in 2020. In September of 2020, Ellen tried to make a triumphant return, calling this controversy, quote-unquote, tricky. Okay, Queen.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited.
By May of 2021, she was announcing the end of the show. I won't lie, this one kind of stung a little bit. I mean, since I had known who Ellen DeGeneres is, I had heard rumors that she was mean, but she was also such a fun part of my after-school TV schedule. And as we all know, all Ellens are psychically linked, so there was that. I think she was the first exposed celebrity that I had a real kind of parasocial relationship with that being a figure who has this like warm, bubbly persona, and that persona being a complete act. This was kind of the first one of those that really made me, oh, that stinks. And I think like with Jonathan Van Ness, if your show is something that has the tagline, be kind to one another, you should be kind to one another. I don't, like I said before, I don't expect you to be exactly as you present yourself in front of a camera. That's ridiculous. But if you're going to be put in this position of power, because let's be honest, celebrities have a lot of social power, especially, you should practice what you preach. The vibe I got from the Ellen controversy is that she is kind of a perfectionist, which is something a lot of artists fall into. This is kind of how we get that tortured genius like archetype, like, oh, they can be a bastard because they're creative or something. One of the most famous examples of this tortured genius perfectionist sort of stock character is Gene Kelly. I didn't want to move or act like a rich man. I wanted to dance in a pair of jeans. I wanted to dance like the man in the street. Wow. What an everyman. So faking nice has always been Hollywood's bread and butter. During his heyday, Gene Kelly was really seen as this charming, kind, talented dude. And he was really handsome. I'm not afraid to say that. Look at him. And he was really talented. And he was also a monster to work with. To get a glimpse at that, we just need to look at the treatment of Debbie Reynolds during Singin' in the Rain. Specifically, the shoot for Good Morning. You ever seen this Family Guy bit?
All right, we're gonna do it once more. And this time, no mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, good morning.
It's great to stay up late.
Good morning to you. When the band began to play, the stars were shining bright.
But now the milkman's on his way. It's too late to say goodnight.
So say good morning.
Ah, good morning. Sunbeams will soon smile.
Good morning to you.
It's basically like that. The song Good Morning is about 4 minutes long, with long sections of really difficult tap. Reynolds, who was decades younger than her co-stars, was tasked with matching the talent of Kelly. The first day, yes, this was just the first day of filming for Good Morning, lasted from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Reynolds later stated, "My feet were bleeding. I couldn't move." The thing to remember about media personalities in the modern day, this includes, oh God, does it really, really especially includes creators on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. At the end of the day, you have to remember that these personas are products. They are figures being sold to you in the form of a parasocial relationship. And this is far from just a Hollywood issue. We've all had the smiley manager who can be a real boogeyman during one-on-ones. This is an inherently human issue that's been exacerbated by capitalism. That's right, I brought it back to capitalism. We as consumers in a capitalist state want authenticity from our products. We want that Made in America sticker. We want that backstory about how the brand was started on Grandpa's farm or whatever. We want our celebrities to be rags to riches. We want them to be warm and kind, someone we could grab a beer with. But at the end of the day, a product is just that. A product being sold. And a product can only be so authentic. Lizzo, there's another straight. Hi. Thank you for watching this very loosey-goosey kind of video. If you liked it, why not give it some engagement? If you disliked it, why not give it some engagement? If you would like to see more content from me, there's a subscribe button. Did you know there's a subscribe button? There's a subscribe button right or somewhere down there. Should be. If you want to support the channel so I can make videos maybe a little bit more often, get some higher quality. If you want to support this, links to my Patreon and some merch are in the link tree in the description. Thank you guys for being flexible and chill about my taking March off. We should be back in the swing of things now with the monthly videos. So thanks for being chill. And if you didn't like the video, sashay away. Bye.